Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Emily Sophia, and I'm going to be breaking down for you guys the latest episode of Bates Motel, Season 2, Episode 2. So, I'm diving right into the thick of this. No real announcements, no real nothing, because I am like strung out, emotional, and euphoric from this episode. I freaking swear. It's this and Hannibal right now that are my favorite shows airing on television right now, and I know that True Detective just ended. I haven't seen a single wink of that show yet, so I really can't say anything about that, and there are shows I'm catching up on in my spare time too. But this is the stuff to watch, okay? And tonight's episode just killed it on so many levels. And I mean, it just seemed like such a wonderful and uplifting and joyful episode, you know? Everything was good, and good brother bonding moments, mother and son, everyone just, all the story arcs and the plots, but there's one little problem, one issue that confounds and colors everything in the show, and that would be this. That would be the existence of this little freaking show right here. Thank you, Alfred Hitchcock. But let's just not think about that right now. Let's just pretend that everything could end up somewhere completely different and that it's all good. Wipe the slate clean. Brainwash ourselves a little bit and just go our merry way, because honestly I can't. And that's what's so bloody brilliant about this show, is the fact that we know exactly where things are going, but the way that the characters develop and getting to see everyone shift and change in their interactions with one another and how they view the world and all these emotional twists and turns, it makes us think that things could go anywhere. And that's the beautiful and the tragic and the awful thing about watching something like this. And it's the exact same way with Hannibal. We know where things are going to go. It's just the attraction is the process of watching it all happen. And that's just the thing that we have to keep in mind, and yet not at the same time, because it's too much trauma for this shaken little brain of mine. But I need to rave about my new wife, Vera Farmiga. I'm sorry guys, I claimed her, I live tweeted my proposal, and I mean, basically we're married, so no questions. Sorry I didn't get to invite y'all to the wedding. I'll have her show up in a vlog sometime. We'll talk about how she won me over and serenaded me via the television, and that was how we both knew, But honestly, her audition song for the South Pacific musical, and I love South Pacific, by the way, so hopefully we'll get to see her do a little, rehearsal for one of those songs. It's a good one. I've got good memories attached to that. So all of a sudden, this dark and sinister and macabre show is giving me all the feel-goods inside, and it's freaking me out, okay? I feel like I keep saying freaking about every single thing, so I apologize for the lack of diversity in my vocabulary, but that's just my frame of mind as of right now. Anyways, Vera is beautiful. I'm gonna get all emotional. Oh my god, I can't. There's something about that scene, and the scene with Norma and Norman preceding it, where Norma has this incredibly vulnerable and poignant moment where she just says over and over and over again just how afraid she is, and she's so scared, and she just keeps going on and on and on until she is sunk in Norman's arms after they have this angry confrontation. They go from bashing heads to him cradling hers against his shoulder and chest. And we don't get that from Norma all that much. I mean, the whole reason that she's talking to her freaking gynecologist about blackouts in this hypothetical situation with her sister is because she just doesn't trust people. She doesn't go to anyone. She doesn't admit to having any weakness. And we saw that last season. She wants control. She's gonna get it. That's how she operates. And with all of her past woes and the things that she's endured, you know, with what she admitted to Norman in the last season as well, we know that she's got some formidable demons in her closet, and they are merely sleeping, not dead, but dreaming. And at any moment, they threaten to burst right out and take over her dream and the life that she has built for herself. And so just seeing that moment where after she discovered the pearls and the little newspaper clip, you know, very banal items on their own, but of course, Norma may be crazy, but she is far, far from stupid. She's the queen of denial, but she is not Lady Ignorance, okay? She knows, she knows. So she's holding all of this down, and her coping mechanism for this discovery is not confronting Norman about it, at least not until she is at wit's end. Her method is trying out for a musical, making everything great and happy and wonderful, and I have to say, like, all of her outfits and everything about her in this episode, she is just radiating this youthful energy, and when she's not babying Norman or conjuring up memories of the good old days and singing little childhood tunes, she has this energy and this glow about her, which is not only from the success of her business, but from the life that she has built with Norman, and it is about Norman. And the fact that he could even be remotely connected to this death that he's been so obsessed over, that poses quite a pretty little threat to her dream. So she will construct another dream to keep the nightmare at bay. And that's what this whole South Pacific thing is really about. But just the complexity of the interactions between Norman and Norma in this episode, revolving around the musical, around the issue of Norman's mystery pearls, you know, is playing a little Catwoman, little Selena Kyle, housed somewhere in that crazy brain of his, just making off with the jewels. But just such a stunningly beautiful moment when she and Norman go back in for her audition, and Norman passes off Bradley to Dylan, who takes care of the job. He's a good freaking brother. He says what Norman wants him to. Everything's just good, and faith in humanity restored for but a fraction of a second. I'm gonna milk that second for everything that it is worth. I will make a milkshake, and I will not stop there. I will take the milkshake and I will make a milkshake C, and I will make an island in the middle where I will sell the milkshakes to people who take their boats out on the milkshake island, and I'm just gonna live in this little paradise. I'm gonna embrace my inner Norma, and we're just gonna chill. It's gonna be great. But anyways, back to that solo moment of hers, and it's just so symbolic that she has no piano arrangement, no sheet music. She's just going for it. She clears her throat every here and there, and just, it's that vulnerability again. In just the incredible transparency of her performance, and the lyrics that she sings are coming from deep down inside, you know, and it was just stunning. I was a total mess during the commercial break. After that scene, I was like ready to just sink through the carpet and evaporate in the morning sun and ascend into the heavens. It was that. Why am I so emotional? I know that everything is gonna go so wrong. God, what the friggin' crap. Vera, I'm so glad that you're my wife, because you're gonna need to sing me more songs. And I'll just cry forever. That's okay. I could use that as the secret ingredient on my milkshake island shop thing. It'll be good. We'll set up a hotel there too. Why the crap not? Let's not stop there. Ugh, God, it was a great episode. I don't even want to talk about anything else. It was just so jolly good. I loved it. And again, it's those hopeful moments that we know will recede and brutally at some points. But as for now, I like it. I like it. And props to Freddie Highmore for continuing to stun the crap out of me. He just has such a nuanced approach to playing Norman Bates. Never too over the edge in terms of emotional, like, I mean, everything that he has with Norma is super heightened and intense, and you know, that's on the edge for sure. Yet everything else that he plays, it's not the cut and dry sociopath, and yet he just has this something about his gaze and his manner and all the situations that he comes into contact with. He has these sensitivities, but what's behind it and what's lurking as well. So I'll go ahead and touch on other areas of the plot. So we do have a murder suspect, and he has in fact been charged. I forget, I was trying to keep track of the names of some of the new minor characters or newer minor characters in the episode, but I was flipping my biscuits over everything Norma and Norman centric. So I was a bit distracted throughout the rest of the episode, but we see that Romero has been, you know, playing the good cop for the bad guys. The question is that gonna start turning around? Is he gonna start releasing the hounds on the different figures in this sort of seedy little regime of White Pine Bay, you know? And every scene that he has and every little bit of contact that he makes with these different people, trying to keep the peace, quote unquote, you see those fingers, you know what I mean? It's really not much of a peace at all, but it's basically what he tolerates. This is like his threshold. It's what he does. I mean, the guy freaking worked in Gotham City as mayor there, so I think he's put up with a lot. It's given him a lot of forbearance, if you will. That's the way I see it. But anyways, so he's trying to hold things down, but behind every single interaction that he has, there is just this energy and this knowledge and secrets and everything oozing up from the orifices of the earth. All bad things coming to light. But the question is the guy who was charged actually the murderer? There's a lot to suggest that, well, it could be anyone. The writers want us to think that it's Norman because of the trajectory of the entire show and story, but at the same time, again, everything is just so interesting, and I love how they constantly subvert and twist our expectations and basically do whatever the crap they want. I dig that. I like being surprised. I like, you know, even though I know where things are going, to be troubled and sort of estranged from this knowing and shocked at every corner. That's what a good show is supposed to do, especially if it's so iconic that everyone knows where things are headed. So, you know. At any rate, so that's Romero's business. Best of luck to him. Dylan continues to be wrapped up in his not so awesome job sphere. I do recommend that he considers polishing up his resume, you know, dropping a few off here and there, and preferably somewhere that's not in the woods or some weird shack or etc., etc. Things only continue to be escalating in violence after the death of Gil, and so we have almost a little bit of resolve to that plot as Dylan sends Bradley off. And again, I am incredibly appreciative of how the writers handled Bradley's story arc as well. Because as you all know, I really did not have a single ounce of fondness for her last season, and that's not to say that I've had a major change of heart or anything to that effect. I personally like that they took care of things nicely and neatly, everything considered, that she has an exit. I think this very well could be the last that we see of her or hear from her for a while. I mean, the note that she gives Norman, I think I could see that as something that resurfaces in the future, but I don't know that that necessarily means that she's going to make any kind of comeback. What with all the violence and everything just proliferating in the town as it is, you know, she's done what she needs to do. I just find it horribly ironic that Norman just has a way of getting involved with blonde girls who kill people. Dead dudes and bombshell blondes, be they girlfriend material or mother/girlfriend material. But anyway, so again, it could have just been so messy and they could have had like some stupid kiss, either her and Norman or her and Dylan, and I was just like, please don't do it. And they didn't, and I was quite pleased. That was really nice. So best of luck to you, Ms. B. Breaking Bradley. Hopefully you shall be unbroken-ish in the future, but I mean, does can we really say that all the broken people in the show are, you know, Humpty Dumptys waiting to be put back together again? And maybe they are, but all the king's horses and all the king's men are off elsewhere doing other things, so sorry about that. Anyways, who else? We got to see a little bit of Emma this episode, a very subtle moment, but it was, again, it was kind of this placid, sort of happy resolve kind of thing. The first encounter that we had with her in this season, she was a little bit miffed by Norman, but then again, who isn't? So she has this little happy moment. Everybody gets this happy little moment, and it's just so wonderful. What am I forgetting? Oh yes, and of course at the very end they just have to throw in that one more little scene to just complicate everything, because we can't have the happily ever after, even if that ever after is only 7 days more. I want it. You will not take that from me. But we know that Norma's brother is back in town, and based on what she told Norman, this does not spell out many happinesses. I don't know, there's a lot of interesting things in motion, some new characters coming into play, new forces of evil. Honestly, am I forgetting anything too major? Like I said before, the true highlight of this episode for me was anything Norman and Norma. Just every single instance that they shared was breathtakingly beautiful, and I can't deal with it. Oh man, TV's good right now, you guys. It pleases me to death. Oh yeah, and there is the new girl, the new Miss Brunette grocer gal in Norman's life. I know via the previews that she will be a recurring figure, and she is that sort of bad girl type in a slightly different way than Bradley. Not entirely, but kinda sorta. She at least has some semblance of a personality. Sorry girl, but and I just love the horrendously awkward moment, the little mini crisis that Norman has at the register, where he just has to slip in a little like, yeah, we're all gonna die, that's what we're pretty much doing from birth, right? See ya! That's just it. It's beautiful, and best of luck to you in that impression. Yeah, so I know that this girl is going to be yet another problematic element in the world of problems that is Bates Motel, but we'll see exactly what kind of problem she poses, or what kind of problem Norman poses to her, I think we should say, because I mean, honestly, I'm really surprised about how Bradley's story arc went. I'm surprised that she made it out with her soul intact. Or at least her vital organs are still functioning. Soul is in question, I guess. But, yeah, I don't know. I feel that someone is going to get the latent wrath, and the psycho within is, you know, somebody's gonna get a little sneak peek very soon. And so leave all your thoughts and predictions and reactions in the comments. If there's anything that I forgot to mention, you know who to call. And thank you so much for watching and for putting up with my emotional volatility. I love the show, and I'm so happy that I love it, because after Dexter, I've just been in this existential crisis of trying to figure out, like, what is worth my life. So this is good. This is great. Yeah, there's a lot of other little things that I was thinking about during the show. Again, anything that I missed, it might be something that I saw and just forgot to say, because this has already been 20,000 minutes long, so I'm gonna let you go before I overstay my welcome too much. You guys are the best. I'll let my wife Vera know that you are all very appreciative of her. I know that I am, and I can sense the world embracing her. Norma has the best moments in this season. Like, girl, this girl is on fire. She is up in flames, and I just love it. It's great. The season is bringing the heat, and I really couldn't ask for anything more. So, y'all take care, and as always, I'll be back before you know it.